Welcome to the Not Network podcast. It's Jimmy and Matthew talking to a stellar dude. His name is Thomas, but people really know him as Mr. Fenton.xiv. That's 14 in Roman numerals, in case you didn't know. Hope you enjoy the episode.
So, hailing all the way from our big brother across the pond, Thomas, aka Fenton.xiv, is a bespoke 3D artist. Specializing in beautifully colorful models and stone-textured fantasies, he brings a new perspective on familiar ideas. With his recently launched Cryptimon website and brand, Thomas is just getting started. So with that, I say to you, hello and welcome and good morning from America. How are you, dude?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's
Absolutely.
really fun to be on here for my first interview. So I am really excited just excited, like to the anxiety level of excitement.
Yes. No, this one's all about you. And it's a first for us, I think, right now, too, because the listeners right now can't see. But he's modeling and sculpting something right in front of our eyes over the Zoom share screen. And so if I kind of lose my train of thought, that's exactly why. I'm being mesmerized.
Yeah. Wow. So just to start then, I guess, like with me being an artist, it's kind of been like a long time thing since I was a little kid. And it all started with stuff like games, and obviously when the Game Boy came out, obviously Pokemon, and you had Digimon, and you had all of that stuff. And I was already drawing Sonic the Hedgehog and Crash Bandicoot and stuff like that. So when that stuff came out, it was just over-inspiring, and I never put the pencil down after that.
Amazing. So
that's where Cryptimon is coming from. It's coming from all the love of like Monster Rancher and stuff like that from back in the day. And yeah, really from there, it was just moving around a lot as a kid, because I had my mom and I moved around with my little brother, and we also lived in Germany for a bit because she married someone that was in the army. So that was a really fun experience. And I met loads of other kids there that really enjoyed the same thing as I did. And it basically meant that we were all using our break times, basically imagining us as different characters from a game or something. That was how we spent our break times, running around with imaginary swords in our hands.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the beginning of, I would say, me being a creative in that matter. And then I moved back to England, to where I originally was from in the Midlands. I'm in Stafford at the moment, so it's pretty. Nice. It's pretty like it's like the crossroads in England. It's like where the trains cross over in the middle, and where the traffic lights are. I think we've got the most traffic lights in England, the most speed bumps.
Oh wow!
So you can't go fast here. No one can go fast here.
Good to know.
Yeah, so that's Stafford for you. And I then went to college here as well, and I ended up actually getting really bad GCSEs at school before I went to college. I managed to spell fudge with my GCSEs. I got an F, a U, a D, a G, an E, and I even got an X, and I don't know why.
Oh, wow.
I got an X for religion because I did religion at so many different schools. I kept getting taught the same thing when I went in. The same religion. So we'd always learn about Christianity, and I never learned about other religions. So it was kind of like the teachers decided to put me in the library, and then I just drew all the time.
Wow.
So yeah, that's how I got the X.
What? So I'm unfamiliar with the X and the way that they grade. Could you explain that real quick?
I probably can't because I forgot.
I know. Is X good or bad? I'm guessing it's bad.
I presume it's actually means nothing, like wasn't participant of it.
Oh wow! So they just counted you out.
Yeah. So I got an F in art as well.
Oh really?
No.
Because you were just doing your own thing, or what happened?
Yeah, because I was doing my own thing. So I got graded down for that. Because I was doing cartoon cars, the like really poppy cars and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted me to draw flowers in the middle of a room on a table, but they never
Still
really
alive.
explained it. They were always like, just draw what you see, where actually it's like, draw what's actually there. Like what is the 3D structure in the room, perspective lines, lighting and stuff like that. That's what we could have done with learning, but it wasn't structured that way for some reason.
Wow. So this was, I guess, grade school, and then did you go to college?
Yeah, so college was like when I was 16 to I was like 20, because I failed like 3 times in a row. So lots of failure in my life. But
Did you end up graduating?
yeah, I ended up getting a merit, which is like you get a pass, a merit, and a distinction, which are the different levels. So I got a BTEC National, which is gets you through into university, and I got that in art and design. And then I went on to the next course instead of going straight to uni. I went to the BTEC National in interactive media, and that's where I picked up a tablet and digital painting and stuff like that from the art and drawing side.
You hit it off running.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, is when that, you said you never put down the pencil, but when did that turn into the
3D
software,
sphere, the sculpting,
digital
arena?
Yeah, it was in college. So my teacher, the teacher that actually told me to do that course, Mark Cruxton, he was like, you'd be absolutely perfect for like this new thing that's coming, which is digital art. And then I did that and got on the tablet, and I was absolutely hooked. And I remember I was watching Peter Mulbrocker on, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce his name, but yeah, he's really big now. He was back then, and he had like a few videos on YouTube painting, and I was just absolutely mesmerized by it. So I just watched them day in, day out until I kind of learned a very really bad way of doing what he was doing. And then
that's where it starts.
Yeah. So, and then obviously trailers and stuff were coming out, like really cool self-made trailers for like potential video games and stuff, and they were like super inspiring. So it was kind of like I was maturing a bit at that point, and I was like, okay, I really like this. I want to do this. And so then I went into university, and it was Huddersfield University in England, but I actually lived in Manchester. And at this point, I've got no friends that do art with me, apart from the people that I met at college, which is one of my good friends, Josh, who is actually helping me with Cryptimon at the moment in terms of managing the micromanaging. And Matthew Trigg, who's also helping me at the moment with monster ideas and generating basically stuff in the background for me to get to further down the line. So he's really important part of it, as well as Josh. And then there's Shane, who is also working with me now. So I brought all the college lot back now. Together.
The boys are back in town.
That's right.
All with our own new skills, and just kind of trying to link it all up. So
that's badass.
Yeah. So that's where carry on. Sorry.
I always just love hearing when people use their friends and their friends are willing to help, their friends to accomplish some type of goal.
Yeah. And
having them help you out is really cool to hear.
Yeah, definitely. It's been really amazing, because it's like, we didn't know, because of the volatile market with the Cryptimon stuff and that, we didn't know what the outcome would be. We didn't know if people would like it or not, or if there'd be problems down the line. So it was all kind of up in the air. It was about me had this crazy idea because of obviously loving what I loved back when I was a kid. And I just thought to myself, you know what, I'm not going to use any reference. I'm not going to go to look at any of these things now. I'm just going to take what's memorable and use like my imagination in its fullest, but with that as an inspiration along the way, to kind of create this thing as an original concept, but in the same genre.
So I'm gonna assume that people do like it for you, posting to Instagram and it already being sold out. That's phenomenal. That's
it was so good.
It's really cool to see that.
Yeah, I'm like super passionate about. I I saw a lot of stuff on there, and I tried to get into Nifty and stuff, and it was apparent to me that there was there was a lot of stuff you could do with it, and I didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it in some people. Some people do some fantastic stuff, and I just thought, what if I just started from the ground up and made something that was based on, I don't know if you've ever seen The Toys That Made Us on Netflix. It's like a documentary about toys.
Toy Story, right?
Yeah. It's about Toy Story. It's about Star Wars and the figure collections and stuff. And it's got some really good insight into why things work the way they do. So using all that kind of knowledge, because I watch documentaries like all the time. So I'm just using all that data to kind of come up with a formula that works, that helps people get interested, and we can have something that unfolds before people's eyes that's fun, really fun, and just really good, like nice to look at, and you actually wanna have that. So yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to bring to the table for the collectors. And just see how it pans out, because obviously this is a new market, and it's really like you don't know no one knows what they're doing.
Yeah, everyone's trying to figure it out right now.
Yeah. So,
but it seems like that attitude that you had in school with like the art class, and like here's the teacher telling you, here's what you got to do, here's what you got to draw, and you're just like no, and you kind of did your own thing. That attitude kind of helps you with this now, because you're like, I'm not going to look at any reference material or anything. I'm just going to use my imagination, and I have ideas, and I'm just going to do them. So do you think that is kind of where that attitude came from?
Yeah, definitely. I've always had a rebellious side. Like I said, with college, I failed 3 times before I passed my first one. And that was basically, I think when you're that young, you kind of like, you don't really know what you want in life, right? And everyone's asking you all the time. Do you know what I mean? So you're just trying different things. So I think alongside that, and also not wanting to do what everyone else wanted to do, was always a big thing. And definitely played a huge part, probably subconsciously more than anything. But yeah, so I ended up after college going to University of Huddersfield, living in Manchester. And I didn't really know anyone that painted or anything like me, like digital painting, and had like basically flew themselves into it, fully fledged. And I met Ben. He came into university like the year after my first year. And Ben Sparrow he's a painter and concept artist now. And he is, basically it was like fate. He's in the same uni, and it was like an hour and a half away. And we were in Manchester, and we got put into the same halls, in the same part of the halls, together, and it was just so random, and it was like in the middle of nowhere as well, and we just basically hit it off straight away. And that after that first year of uni, I was doing all right, and I was getting like my work done, because it was a games art course, and when he came along, it was just like we were just bouncing off each other, and just absolutely, in our eyes, we were killing it, you know what I mean? So we were actually taking more days off than we should have done from uni, but we were always doing the work. It took an hour to get there. It was like, might as well just do it here.
Jeez. Right.
Yeah.
I love like two powerhouses teaming up, getting aggressive with each other, and punching ideas back and forth. That's how, like, I think that's how like real work gets pushed out, is with that other person. And it's just it doesn't have to be one. It could be like a multiple, like a group of people, but like the I don't know, the wavelengths are in tune. The vibe is just right, and they're going after it.
But there's just a little spark of competitiveness that you keep pushing yourself further and further.
Yeah.
And I think that's the great part about this whole NFT community in general, is that I think that's how the whole thing is. People are pushing themselves. They see what their friends are doing or what their peers are doing, and they're like, whoa. And we allow ourselves to be inspired by each other, which is very cool. Very cool.
I think that was like something I didn't know. To be honest with you, in the first year of uni, I was looking for a friend. I know that sounds really sad.
Hey,
a friend
we
that
all are.
draws like me.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, is my microphone all right? Is it not too loud? I've got it.
No, you sound great to me.
You sound perfect.
All right, good. Just making
Yeah.
sure.
Crisp audio and
I got that
our ears, at
video
least.
broadcast going, so it should be all right.
Hey, yeah,
Nice.
you're good.
I have a question. So earlier you said that, and you just recently mentioned it, that you failed a lot in school. And so I'm wondering, what does failure mean to you, and how did you either use that, or how do you look at failure now as an artist?
Yeah, so failure back then was grades. It was in your face. You didn't have a choice about it. It was a failure.
Mm-hmm.
You were basically projected as that through the eyes of someone that didn't actually know you, but they graded you. So for me, it was always like, I don't care.
Wow, yeah.
And then you at that age as well. So that was, how long ago was that? I don't even know. But yeah, it's about 12 to 14 years ago. So at that point, you got stories on TV of everyone who's rich going or doing really well in life. And they're like, I never got any GCSEs. I never got any grades. You know what I mean? And they're all doing fine. And I was just like, well, I'll just do that then.
Nice.
I'll just be one of those people on TV.
Yeah, I want to be one of them guys.
Yeah. So you already kind of knew a long time ago that you wouldn't be going quote unquote normal path as some of your peers.
Mm-hmm.
How did your parents feel about that?
So it's just really my mom. I've got my dad as well, but they separated when I was smaller, and
Gotcha.
they're both supportive. But obviously, I've been with my mom my whole life. So honestly, and my grandparents, just total support. Especially my grandma, always making me pick up the colouring pencils when I was a kid, and just because she knew I enjoyed it, so it was enough for her to push me in that direction. And obviously, every one of my family still to this day goes, I don't know how you do it. And I was like, it's just you told me to.
Yeah. So, that's amazing to have that,
beautiful to
that
hear.
support. Yeah, it is beautiful, but it's amazing to have that support system from a young age. And I love what you said, like your grandma wanted you to do that because you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And like there was no other intention. It's like, I see, this kid's got something bright in him that like he's doing this of his own volition and he just enjoys it.
Yeah, it makes a smile on his face.
It's good to pursue those things.
Yeah, the enjoyment aspect of it. There's like this Kurt Vonnegut quote that it's all, to sum it up, it's basically just saying you don't do things to excel and be the best and try to strive for greatness. You do it because it makes you happy and you try it to get that experience. And I think that's really beautiful that your whole family kind of has that sort of mindset, and they bolstered you throughout this experience we call life so far.
Yeah.
So that's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's been honestly the blessing in disguise with COVID has been because I went away to work for many years and wasn't around family, even though I still conversed with them over the phone. So I came back here when COVID started because I saw it happening all around the world before it actually happened here. So I got really worried. I've got a bit of a risk complex. I don't put myself in risky situations. So I just quit my job and moved back here. And the blessing in disguise was I've been close to my family, and it's actually been just unfathomable how like much stress just gets relieved, and you've always got someone close to talk to, and it's just the support is basically I'm like a kid again because I'm living with my mom at the moment, and she's basically looking after me. It's great.
Hey, no, that is great.
Yeah, it's really
good. I think it's funny that you said you like to avoid risk, but quitting your job and moving back with your mom and doing art full time.
I meant like life risk, like
life. Sure, sure.
Well, there's that dichotomy. There's it ebbs and flows, and I think that's really beautiful because you realize you've prioritized what is a risky situation, what is not. And I think everybody does that through our own experiences. But that's really awesome to hear because how do you when you were without the support, when you were away working, what could you illustrate kind of what a difference that made for you personally, just having somebody there just having actually just somebody there.
Yeah, it's a weird one because when you go out and do this, you're so excited at first. And for me, it was to go to uni, and that was my first time away from home, really. And it was exciting. And everyone was having great parties and really getting along. You meet new people. You just kind of overwhelmed with it all and really enjoy it. And then obviously it ends in 3 years, and you just haven't had enough yet. But so you kind of take that with you to your first job or whatever you're going to do. And for me personally, it was like there was a 6-month period of not getting a job and just not knowing where it was going to take me.
Wow.
And in that time, after the university part, it's like such a big, like, you just go down a hole sort of thing.
Yeah.
Really badly, actually. So, but at that time I came back home for a bit, and that was the thing that made me see, okay, life's changing. We need to change course and basically use what we've got and change course. And then that's when I put my eyes on Portsmouth because my mate Josh had been traveling and he got a job near Portsmouth, which is where Isle of Dust is based at. And I saw Isle of Dust was in Portsmouth, and Climax Studios, which was like a game studios. And Isle of Dust is a commercial arts studio. So it's a very different thing. And so for some reason, I just gravitated towards Isle of Dust. But yeah, I ended up going there and spending some time there with my mate Josh for a year. And then they moved me to Brighton studio a year after. But I'll tell you that story in a minute. But just to answer your question, the 6 years, I think it was, that I was there and I was with our family, it kind of grinds you down. It's like spinning your wheels a bit. Like you're in a good place. You're going up in the ranks at the company, and everything's going really well, but there's just something missing. And it starts to grind you down a bit. And because I've spent my whole life with my family, that's probably the reason why. Like, I think you could get used to it and it would be fine. But for me, it was just like a little bit of a subconscious thing that I didn't realize that when I got back here, when COVID started, it was like really kind of like, oh yeah, that's definitely why I must be feeling better now. And people are saying, oh, you look a lot chirpier after the first month and stuff like that. And we feel like we've got you back now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it can be quite hard. Because Brighton's really expensive as well. So you only got like a little room for like big money.
Oh man.
Looking at, especially if COVID, I honestly feel for people who have had to live through that with COVID. It must, I feel lucky in that way that I've had a family to support me in this respect. Definitely. So yeah, to answer your question, it's like a noticeable thing. You really notice it, the change of having family around, especially when you've been away for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I like what you said about, eventually you can get used to it, but there's some things that you don't really like want to get used to, like some things are just bad for you. And I'm glad that you had enough,
self-awareness.
Yeah. Self-awareness to realize, it's just good for me to be near my mom and be near my family, because the support system really can be everything, especially with a career like the one that you're choosing. I think that's vitally important.
Yeah, and the direction you're going at, which is more introspective of creating these, creatures. And even though you're using references sometimes with like the Michael Jordan, is it 90, 98, 89?
It was. I'm not very good with numbers.
Yeah, I know, me either. Oh, yeah. Everybody knows what that pose that he does for the Jordans and
really
stuff like that.
Famous photo shoot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I did that reference, and I just kind of had that one picture, and I was like,
wow.
Sculpty.
Sculpty.
You created something absolutely beautiful. And then like here, like what you're showing us is that you're just creating this guy, this dude. Do you even name them when you're creating them? I'm just amazed.
I named them all already. I created them all already in my mind.
So what is this one's name? So we can, if we're
this one isn't going to be a thing. Sorry about that. It's not going to be a Cryptimon.
Can we name him?
Yeah, I'd like to name him.
Yeah,
he looks like Like something that
Greg.
starts with like a SN,
Oh,
like
no,
like a snorg.
Well, there's a problem, right? Because he might not
What's the
look like
problem?
this in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know you've changed it quite a bit. At first, I was like, this is some type of swine, and now I'm like, this is now a demon.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get an idea how much this is changing in front of our eyes.
Yeah, it's incredible. And speaking about demons, you also did a little collab with a Mr. Bill Ellis.
Yes.
I want to know everything. Tell me everything about that, because that's when I first actually noticed you, is when Carnage and Venom came out, is when you appeared on my feed.
Yeah, so Billy's just been absolutely amazing. He's been such a good friend to me. I've got his artwork on the wall as well. So.
I see it. Yeah.
But yeah, he's been just his advice is second to none when it comes to all of this stuff. It really is, and just to have him support me behind the scenes throughout this last year that I've been freelancing, it's just been like crazy. So I basically met him online, but he lived in Brighton before he moved.
Okay.
And so we missed each other in the 4 years that I was there at that point. And I ended up one of his friends moved into my flat, and then we got started talking on Instagram. So yeah, I was friends with Cherry, who moved into the flat, and he was friends with her. And we've met each other twice now. We've been out on a night out, which was Say No More. And then,
oh my gosh.
yeah, exactly. And then Sushi Club. Well, it wasn't a club, but we made it that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we've had some we've met each other, and we've had some good laughs in the reality world. But
IRL.
Yeah.
The IRL, yeah. But yeah, he's just been super helpful. He's been kind of like directing me on the right path when I've gone to do something and I'm not sure about it. He's like, look, you're thinking about it all wrong.
Yeah, he puts you back on the right track.
Yeah, definitely.
That's so important. I'm so happy that you met him through a buddy of his, and that connection just kind of blossomed into a little friendship, and eventually, like, you know, he's telling you all these tidbits and little I don't know, nuggets of information that
golden nuggets.
That amps me up. Yes.
Yeah, it's to be honest, I have there's a lot of twists of fate in my life, and it's a weird thing actually. It's like I call it fate because I just think about it. I'm like, how the hell did that happen?
Right.
What on earth could make that coincidence happen? And then they're just domino effects, and it's just crazy. I just don't understand it really. But I've got I'm quite a deep thinker, so I try not to, but sometimes I do think way too deep about stuff. So
you're a thoughtful guy.
Very
That's all
thoughtful.
that means. You're a thoughtful guy.
One of the things that I like to think about fate is, you know, I think fate comes and goes for everyone, but it's not just like when it comes into your life, it just like happens because it's
supposed to
what's
happen.
The word?
Yeah.
I don't know. I forgot what the word is, but like, it's not just random, and it's not just going to happen because it's supposed to happen. Like you were in the right place at the right time, and you were able to create that,
your own luck.
Exactly. Yeah. You were able to take advantage of that situation, not for like a selfish reason, but you know, you made a friend, and where otherwise, you know, some people would not have. And now he's in a special position, I think. How do you view his journey, and how has that like inspired you and your artwork?
Exactly that. It's just absolutely inspiring because, you know, we've been in a similar situation with working where we worked in an advertisement agency and just basically trying to get ourselves out there with doing our own stuff, because obviously that's what you want to do, really, isn't it? It's just you want to create your own art and without any feedback of anyone and just make it happen the way you want. So just to see that happening before my eyes with Billy was just like, I just wanted to know, and I wanted to do it for myself. And he for great reasons, he's helped me, and I've tried to help him in return in any way I can. So I've, like with ZBrush and stuff, helping him out with ZBrush and stuff like that in return. And it's just a friendship, really. It's nothing more than that. It's just friends helping friends. And so, yeah, it's just one of those things where if you ever get the opportunity, are you going to just let it go? Or are you going to, I sound like Eminem. Doing a rap. Are you gonna take the opportunity, or are you gonna let it go? Are you gonna even try it? Are you gonna take the risk? Has it got a risk? How much risk has it got? Is it worth taking it? And what's the pros and what's the cons of that? And obviously, when it comes to people, it's all about just having a friendship and having fun and just finding out more about them. And the only way you do that is by just taking a leap of faith in someone.
Right. I think we were talking about with Chris Vidal. Yeah. Chris was saying this guy lives in Georgia or something. He was talking about like the people that we're interested in and that like we're enamored by, I guess, their artwork or their passions. Is that those are the kind of people that we do want to make friends with, because it's like, you know, when you're working with friends, it's like there's no greater feeling. And when y'all are both passionate about something, it's like what you were saying before, like earlier with Sparrow, right?
Yeah,
is that y'all were both bouncing off of each other and having that little competition and pushing yourselves a little bit further. And that's what I think really amplifies just not only work in general, but the relationship. So it's like there's no sacrifices. Sometimes we think that there's a give and take, you know, but in this instance, it's just building off of each other, and it's a building block, and it reaches to the clouds and the skies. And it's great.
I think it's really easy to forget how difficult it is to find like-minded people as well sometimes, because like I said earlier about finding a friend in university and how difficult without the contacts. Now it's a bit easier because you're in a community and you've kind of gained some ground, and it becomes kind of a second nature thing where you're meeting new people all the time. But originally it was so difficult to find someone who was like-minded, who you could bounce off. And you've just made me think how much I take it for granted now. But I do try to talk to everyone who tries to contact me. Obviously that's probably going to get a little bit more difficult now with Cryptimon, but I will try still. And also just, you never know who you're talking to at the other end on the internet, which is a bit scary sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. It goes to show that, like, even with Tommy, when we were talking to Tommy around like the start of January, I was talking to other artists too, and when Nifty blew up, it was like when I was talking to these artists, they were like, I was going in my trash bin and I actually found an email from Tommy in Nifty Gateway in like July or something. And I'm like, I replied back to the email like, ooh, sorry, I didn't see this. Can I still get in and stuff like that? And, you know, Nifty has like this influx of people that it's just hard to get people going and through it.
Definitely. They've got their hands full at the moment. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's kind of like that, you know, you don't know who you're gonna see, but also building your skills in the present to have that opportunity to talk to someone, I think is really important. I talk about that with Arc4G, is that you have to have the skills to be in that community, to have that kind of competitiveness, because you know, if one's low and one's high, then it's kind of like the master and apprentice kind of relationship, kind of like with you and Billy's. Like, he's been through some of it and he's kind of guiding you along through with some situations, which is, you know, cool again, and hopefully, you know, it repeats the process and you get to be the master with somebody's apprentice, and then, you know, we'll just all, it's just a community.
I'd love to pass on what Billy's given to me. Definitely. I think that's part of being an artist as well. There's a book I read on, I think it was George B. Bridgman's book on anatomy. I could be wrong, but at the start he does like an opening section. He says, you know, artists, we have a ball of knowledge, and we create that pool so that other artists can take from it in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So I really resonated with that when I read that. I think that's true. And just you never know who you talk to as well, so always be nice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no point in there's a lot of internet hate, isn't there? And I'm not a big fan
Sadly.
of it.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. When you said that, it made me think, like, on the other side of the coin, I like to think about, like, when you say you never know who you're talking to, you never know what that person's future is going to hold.
Exactly. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah.
So, like, they could be, not saying that you want to ride off of someone's success, but knowing someone like Beeple when he was first starting his very first daily and supporting him from the beginning, being nice to him, not being a hater, being his friend, whatever. And like looking at him now, you would have never known, but he had that drive and he had something special. It's important to recognize that in those people and to stay with them and to help build each other up, because you never know who that person's going to be.
Something really admirable about consistency within someone's skill. So I think that's one of the big reasons why Beeple is successful now, is because that kind of consistency that he's had it's impossible to do for anyone else now, because he's doing it. He's way ahead of you.
Yeah. Exactly. You can never catch up.
You can never catch up.
Never.
Yeah, that's a really appealing part, I think, especially for collections as well. Consistency is going to be a big thing, I think.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and talk about it. For people who don't know, could you please just give a quick rundown of what Cryptimon is, what inspired it, and where it's going?
Yeah, sure. I'll try without giving any secrets. But that is a point. It's like there are secrets in it. So basically what it is we're not creating a game, because there are game NFTs out there. And to be honest with you, I'm just an artist. Like I don't really know the ins and outs of the NFT world yet, but I'm working on it. I'm working through it. So Cryptimon is basically a series of artwork. And the way that is being delivered is a story that unfolds. And the story is a universe I've created based on an AI creating a human soul. So imagine Alexa decided under our noses that it would create a program to create a human soul so that it could have it basically for itself. And so that's the reason why this world exists. So it's, way down in the data banks, in blockchain, whatever, in the core of the internet under the sea. And this program's going to work, and you go deeper into it. And then you've got the AI ocean, the Asian, which is where, so I'm just giving one away now.
No,
there's loads of little things like that. Okay. So that was just an example, but there's loads of little things that you can, so Cryptimon it's not Cryptomon, it's cryptid monsters. And obviously cryptid means myth, a mythical monster.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I like that a lot.
A little play there. But there's a lot of that basically. And we've got so many stories in this universe. And it's one part of a 3-part universe. So it's a big story. I've spent a lot of time up here, basically.
Yeah, I can see that. And when I first visited your Instagram page, that jumped off at me so much. And honestly, I'm kind of taken aback by the whole thing, because it's fascinating, and I'm really excited to see where you take it. I will be watching with great interest. And just to give other people an idea of like what this is, you purchase, and correct me if I'm wrong about any of this, please. So you purchase this like egg. It's like a hatch thing, right? And this is a render and animation of like an egg that's like revolving in this little arena space type of thing that represents, I guess, a realm or like an element, kind of.
Yeah.
And eventually it hatches, right?
Yeah. That's correct. Yeah. It's actually a simple process for us, because obviously we don't want to make it too complicated for ourselves in terms of the NFT coding and stuff like that. we would want to do that, but we haven't got the resources. And when I say we, it's like I'm doing the art by myself, and I've created the website and stuff. And obviously I've told you about the people earlier who are into it. And there's also Dan Jones, who's my tongue and twister, if you will, because my writing isn't the best. He's basically making sure that everyone is able. Yeah, he's doing to me. Honestly, he's a godsend. He's doing so much justice. So he's basically untwisting my tongue twisters of bad English and making sure that everyone's able to take the information in on the website.
Copy is important. There you go. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, shout out to Dan.
Shout out to Dan.
The eggs will hatch, and we will drop the owners of the eggs so they can sell before they drop. And sorry, I've just lost my train of thought.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, so it's really simple. You buy the egg, you can sell the egg and stuff with bids or whatever in between, but you know that the monster's going to come, and it's a random time. It's an incubation time that we come up with in the background. And it's based on basically me having to create absolutely everything in this universe. And so it's not going to be too long, but it is going to be a couple of weeks or whatever. So,
right.
So, when they drop, the owner of the egg. So if someone bought one off someone that had one at the beginning, that person doesn't get the monster. The person that has the egg will get the monster. Okay. So the owner will get the monster, and we'll drop that into their portfolio or wallet or basket. Because basket like eggs, you know.
Hey.
So we'll drop that in. And obviously, you know, anyone that's bid on, one of the problems we've got is anyone that bids on the egg and then gets, the owner of it gets the monster and then accepts the bid after they've got the monster. So we're basically going to give everyone a 24-hour warning that the egg's going to hatch.
Okay, I see.
That's nice.
So they got time to take the bids off if they wanted the monster out the egg, or they can keep them on there because they just want the egg because the egg looks cool to them and they love that. So it's going to be a pretty intense 24 hours for people, maybe, I don't know.
Right.
But that's what we're going to do just to solve that situation. And it's up to the collectors to have some fun with that, however they want. That's kind of how it works. And we've got tiers. So we've got podlers, we've got beasts, we've got titans, we've got mythics. And so obviously each level it goes up, gets bigger, better, stronger, faster, all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And all of these Cryptimon have got their own stories in the Cryptimon universe, and Goya, the Realm of Realms, which was in the beginning of time of the Asian, the creator created the layer of light. And the reason he did this is because he wanted to explore the ocean around him, the dark, shallow, black waters. And he couldn't go too far without himself dematerializing. So he ended up doing what else he knew how to do, and which was create. And so what he does is he uses the ocean as a dark matter, a construct. It's like the building material for his programming. So he'll program something and it will be made. Do you know what I mean? So he can create a world like a game creator in a game world. And so he doesn't really know what he's doing. He's wise, but he's also naive to the fact of why he's there. And so he's actually consistently unpacking data from the internet over time. He doesn't know what the material is exactly, but that's why the places have those elements and they take reference from our world. So he's subconsciously finding interest in the things that he's unpacking over time in his core data. And he's actually a code breaker in this world. So he's constantly trying to, without knowing, figure out how to make the human soul for the AI behind the background. So this is really deep. It's really deep. So
that's awesome.
I'm going to stop because
we don't want you to spill all the secrets away, but that's amazing how everything is intentional down to, and it comes from I like how it comes from like a creator perspective of that. You use certain elements to describe certain parts, and you don't have to write down the copy, and you don't have to say it immediately. This represents this, but it is for the user's perspective to liken life. Or to intake those kinds of ambiance or the aura of kind of a scene to describe the emotion or what it's trying to convey, which I think, coming from that perspective and the reason you're doing it, it's like a story. You're creating this story that's it's just beautiful. Like in the way that you're describing it with such passion, just really amps me up. It gets me really stoked.
Yeah, I am so fascinated by this idea, and I love hearing you explain like this lore behind it, because I'm kind of like a nerd when it comes to that type of stuff. Like,
we love you.
Yeah, right. I just recently got back into playing Skyrim again for like the 15th time. And this time, like, I'm being that guy that's like reading all the books in the game, and like reading every letter and going into every single cave. Like, it blows my mind, and I can't believe I was actually just thinking about this yesterday. Like, who thought of all of this shit? Like, there's so much,
right?
So much,
right.
And I was thinking about the amount of time and work and mental effort it takes to come up with all of these things, and then make them all actually fit together in a logical way in this fake world that they've created. And so the fact that you're doing that right now, and this is kind of the beginning of that, is very exciting to me. And I want one very bad. But one quick question about it. So do you get to, like, say I purchase an egg and then it hatches, do I still have that like egg NFT plus another NFT kind of, which is the monster?
Yeah, buy one, get one free. Yeah.
Okay. So even after the monster is like hashed, quote unquote, the egg is still there to be viewed and everything.
It's 100% there for you.
Okay.
It's a piece of artwork at the end of the day, and that is going to be there as a piece of artwork for you to have as an NFT collector in your collection. And also, who knows what that egg might do in the future?
Oh my God, dude, the tease.
He's dropping all these hints.
It's very much a story of mystery and myth, So I'm just trying to take people on a journey with it, and obviously, it's really important to respect the collector and make sure that we're doing everything that makes sure that they're happy at the end of the day. And not everyone's going to be happy, but we can try, can't we?
Yes, we can.
That's a try and put effort into it. So I'm even more curious, and we haven't even gotten to talk about your experience with Young Gravy yet, which I do want to hit on with you in Euphoria, because he was the one that actually introduced us to
shout out Euphoria.
Thomas. Yeah, shout out to Euphoria, Alexi.
Yeah, shout out, man.
He's awesome.
So probably the nicest guy in the world, I think.
Right.
You know what? Let's just talk about him now.
Yeah.
Screw it. Yeah. So where did that relationship kind of start? How did you meet him? Because I found him through my early days of photo manipulation, and was completely stoked to see him get on the 3D sphere and realize he was hanging out with some hotshot dudes and doing crypto art. So tell us about that. That's the story.
It's Billy again. Billy,
wow.
Billy, he introduced me to him, and so that's how I know him, and a few other artists as well that are in the NFT game now, and it's just really, really nice people. I knew of Euphoria before this, Alexi. He's always been doing great art on Instagram, and I always gravitated towards his colors and stuff. I thought that he had like a really like great way of pulling out the soft tones, really like everything looks really like nice, lush,
surreal.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's hard. It's almost hard to put into words, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely. It's beautiful. It's elegant. So yeah, that's how I met him, and he just came to me once and he was like, would you like to work with me with Young Gravy, and we're gonna do a sculpture artwork for his album cover, and I was like, I'm in.
Wait, okay, so he was talking about you were the one that actually did the model?
Yeah, I sculpted the model of him, his face.
And then did you do the necklace too? Is that part of the story?
The necklace?
Yeah, wasn't he wearing like a chain or something that you sculpted too, or am I thinking of something?
No, so I think that after that job, it went to. He took a lot of that work on. I know that I was really busy after that, and I know that Young Gravy used some of the artwork to create items like the gold chain and stuff like that. So he would have got other people to do that. I didn't do that thing that he released that was the I don't know what it was. It was just the pink piece of soap or
the background.
There was a model he released on his store that was not my sculpture, but it was someone else's sculpture. But I was like, that's not mine.
Oh man.
But I think that's a rights thing because of the label and how they get us to sign the contracts and stuff. And
I see.
Yeah.
It's also his face, right? That he's selling, right?
Pardon?
It's also his face that he was like.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's his face. It's fine.
Beautiful face.
Beautiful face.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
You
to
got
hear.
a beautiful face, man.
Yes. Shout out Young Gravy and his beautiful face.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I did the sculpture, and Euphoria did the incredible look style. Is it like Viz Dev that they called it? Visual development of it. Yeah. So it was a really good combination on that, I think. So yeah, that's how we were already chatting before that, mind you. So we were already friends at that point. So it was just a case of like, oh, you fit this job, that this would be great. We could work together. Yeah.
Love to hear that.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's what we're all about, man.
I know.
That's the whole deal.
That's, I mean, and it's like we were saying before, like that's kind of like the main, I think that's kind of like one of the main goals of like, you know, where you made it is where you can grab your buddies and be like, hey, let's work on a project. Let me help you make money too.
Right.
And, and I think actually, I don't know if you're into the, what are they called? The mograph.com. They're kind of shindig, but I listen to some of their podcasts and they're kind of the same way as like when they are overburdened and they have a little bit too much stuff to do, they email the client and be like, hey, I'm going to give this to my buddy because they're really good and they're also in need of work. And so that's like I think a really pinnacle part of artistry, and especially in this kind of modern digital space, is that, you know, these processes take a lot of time and effort to create good quality product, and that it's kind of really awesome when you have that community to be like, hey, let's help out one of these clients because, you know, I like them, and also I want to see you succeed too and get paid. Yeah,
and it needs that, because otherwise, it's not as fun, you know. It's not as real and hearty as it could be. So I mean, even now I get like a little bit shocked at how my friends from college and stuff, they're all doing their own things and they're extremely skilled in their own things. And they're bringing that to the table for me in the aspects that I can't deal with. And it just blows my mind. I'm just like, so many people have grown up to do so many really cool things that actually fall into place for this thing that I'm creating. So if anyone else is trying to do something and they're trying to create a business or whatever they're trying to do, just reach out to some of your old friends and see what they're doing now, because you never know. They might.
That's solid advice. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, never burn a bridge, man.
Yeah.
No reason. Well, maybe sometimes.
no, I'm playing. Yeah, it's always good to keep it. So I want to get back to the monsters and kind of the lore that you created. So before you started dabbling into the 72 Demons of Solomon, before, you know, this was
ongoing.
Yeah. But where did this kind of, I guess, storyline come from? Because it's mystical, it's kind of fantasy, it's not anything based out of the real world, and especially with Cryptimon, it's based in the digital sphere. Where do you get this? Like, is this, are you pulling from like Dungeons and Dragons, or is it like, you know, video games like Skyrim? Where's the inspiration? Yeah. All of it. Okay.
Every single one. So you got anime. So you got Dragon Ball Z. You've got all of the animes like Hunter x Hunter, Sword Art Online. I've watched all of Attack on Titan. All. So I just grab. Dragon Ball Z, obviously, I said that. You've got all the monster games. Pokemon, Digimon. Monster Rancher was really inspirational to me. And also, you got games like Crash Bandicoot, you got things like Sonic the Hedgehog, and a lot of the stories in these things are all a bit different, and they all have their own essence and their own feelings. So I'm just taking the feelings from them more than the ideas, and what that made me feel like when I was there watching that or consuming the thing or playing the game or whatever, and how that made me feel in my memory. And then I'll just whip that up and then make the story from it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how it works in my head. But the important part, which I wouldn't have been able to do if I hadn't, is going to work for Isle of Dust, because after university I could sculpt in that in ZBrush, and I was like ready to go into games. And then I ended up going into that, and I had to get that job. I was living in Portsmouth, and I was working at cash converters across the road from the studio because I really wanted to be in there. I was actually I slept in a car for like 4 days when we were moving in, because we couldn't get our flat in time when we actually got down to Portsmouth, which was like 300 miles away. And then obviously got in there, tried to get a job at Isle of Dust, but it was like not the right time or something. And I didn't really have like a strong portfolio, because it's really hard to, when you're not matured enough in the industry, you don't realize that less is more. And so you end up putting all your work in, and everyone's like, I don't even want to look at all of this.
Oh yeah.
So I went with like a huge book, yo.
I actually did not know that.
Get out.
That duly noted when I'm making my portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, because it's pretty easy to think like, oh, they just want to see how much shit I've created, and obviously, you're proud of most of the things that you would create, but I could see that would be overwhelming for someone to look at an entire portfolio of your work.
Yeah, because you got to remember, everyone's got a different life. They're all going through different things, and you don't know what people's interests and stuff are. And you just got to basically go, okay, if I was anyone in the world, how long would I have, and what would I want to see? And so most people, it's like, I think we've gone down from 12 seconds to 6 seconds attention span with the internet.
Yeah. Yep.
So you got like
shorter and shorter.
2 pages.
That's fine. Thanks, fine.
So, I mean, that's just from what I've learned so far anyway. But at the time, it ended up being not the portfolio that got me in, because I ended up working at Cash Converters across the road, which is like a secondhand shop. Managed to get a job in there for like 6 months to pay my rent while I was down there. And then I kept going in every 3 months to ask for a job. And then
there you go. Oh, yes.
And then the third, I just got really emotional one lunch break at Cash Converters, because I was like, I'm not about to pay here. I bolted over there like, can I speak to the boss, please? So I spoke to the boss, Mark, and he just got me in, and he basically had a chat with me. And he said he wasn't sure how I would fit in, but he wanted to give me a shot. And then I ended up my first project I worked on was...
Let's go. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Thomas. I love that.
Yeah, so I ended up working on Kobe X for my first design job.
Yeah.
And I did the spinning snake around the arrow for the Kobe X campaign with the guys. And I think that was like, there was probably not going to be any more work after that, but one of the guys who's been a mentor to me throughout Isle of Dust, which is Elliot Grubb, he basically...
Shout out to Elliot.
He said, Mark, we got to get this guy. So he saw something in me, basically. So that led to the job afterwards, and obviously tears of joy from me and all that kind of stuff. I'm working so hard for this.
Of course.
And then got stuck in after that, and just the progression of that, it was like the learning curve of that was, holy shit, this is like hell week for SAS training, but for design. Because it's just non-stop, like different projects, different day, another project, got to get it done by this time, get it off. And like that brutal learning curve is just like, it's so potent. You get like really fast, you get better. You're around like-minded people who do design, different kinds of design. You're seeing different angles on things. You're getting feedback constantly. So you've got other people coming into the design. It can get really stressful, but when you first do it, it's just like the enlightenment of everything is crazy. And obviously you just try not to fuck up, you know.
Of course.
The whole time.
Yeah, that's probably priority number one. And I bet you were pretty like, I mean, you know, like how you get whenever you want something so bad for so long and then you actually finally get that thing, you're like, shit, now what? And so now you're trying to, you know, please everybody, and those expectations that you set for yourself, you're trying to meet those as well. So I'm happy for you, man. That's really cool that you actually got to do that for a good amount of time.
Yeah, it was, it's one of those things where it's like I had a good time at uni and then there was a dip, and then I just tried harder to get somewhere, and then I got there and then it was like super good. And then we got to the COVID pit and it was like, everything was good, but it was like, there's always, because I think it's probably just me, because I've always moved around when I was a kid. I never stayed in one place. So I don't know whether that had an effect. And I just felt like I was just kind of like still in the same place, and it was kind of getting at me a little bit.
Oh, okay.
When I think about it, that's what I think. I'm like, yeah, it's probably that.
Yeah.
Because everything there was really good. I wouldn't have changed it for the world. So.
Right. That's, and I think that relates also your storytelling too, is that you can kind of trace it back and see the origin and see how that developed in you as a person, which is really interesting. But talking about I Love Dust, you also did, and I had no idea I Love Dust was part of Mike Diva's Run the Jewels video, but so you were involved in that, right?
Yeah, so I just did some portraits of Run the Jewels, and then I did the hand signs. It was one of those ones where it just happens when you're making it, and then it's good straight away.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I love their music, man. I love it so much. And I was just like hyped to just do a really good job. And I think with the portraits, I got a little bit like, it was overcumbering the pressure of having to do something for them, because I was really like, it was close to me. So I wanted to get it right. And I think that was making me get it wrong. And really, I just need to chill out and do it normally and relax, because you can get uptight about that stuff. But in the end, I really like the hands in the end. But yeah, it was just something small that I got the opportunity to do with I Love Dust, because I was one of the main sculptors there. So I think they needed my help, and I was like, yeah, I really want to help.
Yeah. That's a really cool opportunity. Yeah. For those who don't know, it was a like cyberpunk kind of themed music.
Yeah, it was the music video for Cyberpunk, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Cyberpunk got Cyberpunk got RTJ to make a song, and Mike Diva directed it,
yeah.
And that's phenomenal. I remember it being like retweeted a bunch on the on Twitter by like pretty much all the motion designers I know. Like, check this stuff out. This is so cool.
Yeah, it's a crazy video.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I didn't actually know who I was working with, or it was just Run the Jewels for me.
Oh wow!
And Cyberpunk, so I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
But, I'd want to work with everyone, so it was all good for me. It was really, really nice project. I almost forgot about that one.
Ironic.
We didn't forget.
We didn't forget. We did our cyber stalking.
Yes.
Don't you worry.
We know everything.
And kudos to them guys. They pulled out a really good game, and I really, really got hated on it for it.
I know. They have been getting shitted on. I still need to pick it up. Yeah.
So much hard work went into that, and everyone's screaming at them. How?
I know.
Oh.
When you put somebody like Keanu on the face of Cyberpunk, you know, Keanu has such an aura of perfection and goodness.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to wreck it, which is ironic because Keanu. Did y'all see that Keanu movie called, is it Knockout or Knock? Did y'all see that?
The one where he gets tied up.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it shows like which is funny, it shows the opposite, like Keanu's this good-natured person, and then Knock is about like him being ethically wrong and like cheating on his wife and, you know, just doing the absolute worst things and
Not what you
getting in the
wanted to
worst.
do,
Refuse to
really.
believe it.
Yeah. It was just like all messed up. It
That
was.
was
Yeah.
mind fuck.
Was that
I
the
know
same
it-
time as
yeah.
Cyberpunk, was it?
It was. It was at the. When did Cyberpunk come out? Is that
It's early this
December,
year,
November,
right?
November, yeah.
November.
okay? That's when it what came out. It was around December and November because I was still working at my yogurt shop and I didn't quit there till December. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I just dude that movie fucked me up. And then when I was seeing Cyberpunk, I was like, okay, oh no.
Have you saw the
but-
one where he brings his wife and kids back to life for like a chamber, like a incubation chamber?
No, I have
what it's
not.
called. And
I
he
need
makes
to see
himself in. I won't say anymore.
Okay. Note to self, gonna look that up. But yeah, Cyberpunk, great, phenomenal. They got rung around a bit for the last gen experience, which kind of sucks big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Big
For them.
rip.
I mean, they really tried to do it. I feel like maybe they were pushed by their marketing team a little bit too much, but
Oh yeah.
that's what
I
happened, right?
definitely think that's probably what happened.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Did you see the Manifest Destiny by Beeple with the RTJ soundtrack behind them?
No, didn't see that.
Okay, I'm gonna send you a link after this. But when I saw you do the RTJ and you were involved in that, I was wondering, does Beeple, how much of Beeple has an impact on you? Do you look at Beeple as an inspiration, or is it more, what's his name?
Yeah,
Raphael
Raphael Grassetti. Oh, what
yes,
the two?
Raphael
I think.
Grassetti.
Yeah. So actually, I've printed one of Raf's free models out on my
No, you
printer.
didn't. Oh my goodness, we got to see this.
I did the big one though. I don't think he knows how big I've made it.
Holy shit.
Whoa,
Pretty
A
cool.
big figurine.
that's
Yeah.
so badass. He's showing us a 3D printed model right now for those of us who are listening.
Yeah.
But it is, dude, that's gnarly. How much?
Got it.
Yeah. What?
So yeah, I Raphael Grassetti is like, he's taught me so much. He doesn't know it, but he's taught me so much. And like, I've just got so much from him. And it's the same with people. I'd learned from people that you need consistency in this, like I was saying earlier, and you need to be able to bring the heat at all times, which he does very well. So he's definitely a massive inspiration as well.
Mhm.
But I never really contact these guys because I know that they're big and they don't have time to message people. And I'm starting to realize that more and more now because I'm getting more messages.
Yeah.
How it can be. So I just cracked on with what I could do on my side and tried to catch up.
Hell yeah, that's how you do it. Nice. I think you should shoot Rafa DM. That's just me personally,
Yeah.
but I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that.
We're big fans of the DM.
I'd love to see heroes being met with,
The people that taught them.
the people who brought them up.
Master and apprentice, if we're going to go back to
Yeah.
that.
But he does
Yeah,
so many great tutorials and
Yeah.
I've bought them all.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Love
it's
to hear
Gunbow is
that.
really good. So yeah, I think that, and on that point as well, I saw on Twitter like some people are hating on people that are using different methods of making their art, and it's getting a bit like that. But I just think that it doesn't matter. It's art. It's your expression of how you want to see something, and if someone likes it, they like it. It's not
Mhm.
Exactly.
not someone else to say why is this doing well. It's because people like it, mate. So
Yeah.
get over it.
I hope it doesn't get to a point where it becomes like too pretentious, because I think like movies have kind of gotten like that. I really love Quentin Tarantino, for example, but
Yeah.
something that really annoys me about him is how pretentious he is about using film instead of digital to shoot his movies. And like, it's a bit much for me. Like, yeah, film is
It's his
great, and that's
code,
how
isn't it?
cinema was designed. What's that?
It's like a code. It's like it's a part of you sometimes. So I think that's really something that some artists will have and some artists won't, because it's one of those things where you almost drive it into you. It's like having a lucky number, and everywhere you see it, you're like, oh, this is fate. I'm gonna go this way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. But at the end of the day, like you said, we're all creating something just for other people to enjoy. So
yeah, you want everyone to enjoy it. Really, that's the end goal. Obviously, that doesn't always happen, but that's why you got to always remember that it's about you putting yourself on the page.
Right.
That's where it all starts.
Mm-hmm. It's about people trying different things, and when it's about the process too, which y'all were talking about is like I don't know if you're in you dabble in cinema, right? Cinema 4D.
Yeah, I use it for animation and stuff. I did like Red Bull animations and loads of stuff with it.
Okay, sweet. So the battle between Cinema 4D versus Blender versus Maya in the
yeah.
Of course you do. What am I talking about? But so there's like this battle, like, who's better, and I think people at the beginning were that's a great answer. People at the beginning were pretty intense about it, and then it seems like it's morphed into a meme, because I know CG memes and MoGraph memes like to post shit post about like raging out over Blender Maya versus Cinema, and I think that's how an outlook you have to look at other people when they're repping their own gear, and you use something else. It's just like, okay, that works for you, good for you, and I love the stuff that you produce with it, and keep it more of on the gratitude side of like, I'm super stoked that my buddy can create another device with that kind of software.
I'll definitely, and it's just, I think it's great. Like, competitions are always good because things go faster, and so with this stuff, what we want more blenders, we want more C4Ds and C-brushes, and therefore we can get more technology faster, that's stronger, that can make us do more. We can create worlds, we can do more. Do you know what I mean? More for the singular artist.
Yeah, it's exactly what we were. Yeah, I mean, it's what we were talking about with like your peers and stuff. Like, if these people are competing with each other, it's going to make them want to improve their software and get better, and like you said, create things that we may have never thought were possible.
Yeah, and
like Cryptimon.
Yeah, exactly. It's all possible because of these programs. I wouldn't be in without them. Exactly. And so ZBrush is always a scary one for people as well, because you go in and it doesn't look like the other ones. All the buttons are called different things, like Dynamesh. You just don't know what's going on, but actually it's just the same as any other one. All you got to do, sit down in front of it, and eventually you'll just get it.
Yeah,
you got to do.
It's a I was actually talking with one of my roommates about this. It's a language barrier, kind of. They're the same thing, but they're called different things in different programs. You just have to mess with it a bunch and just kind of use it to understand what like little differences are there, because that's all it is. They're little differences. Some are like modified to your benefit and some aren't, but it's pretty much all the same thing.
Super powerful. Like, it will do things a little bit more in a powerful way than the C4D is not very good at Booleans, for example. Like, it will crash when you put a square within a square. Like, it does not care, it will crash. There's probably no point in having it there.
The coders did that purposefully.
yeah, but in this it's so I'll just show you guys quickly, but in this it's like it just works. So you create your other object, tell it's a Boolean now, and you turn on live Boolean, and then you just grab the mover and you move it around, and it builds out instantly in front of your eyes.
Amazing. I love that.
I'm messing them up now because I had it on thingy, but you get the point. It's quick.
For sure.
So,
Go ahead.
I was just saying, it's also like, do you remember? Do you use a tablet, a pen tablet?
I do. I have a Wacom.
Do you remember getting used to that?
There was a big learning curve with that, with trying to figure out my pen to screen kind of interaction. There was a learning curve.
Yeah, so it's just the same with everything else, apparently. From what I've learned, is just got to do it, and then eventually you'll get better at it.
Muscle memory, yeah.
With the idea of having the internet as well, you've just got all the information in the world at your fingertips. Got a question, go look it up. Problem, question, solution. Problem, question, solution. Problem, question, solution. Then you get your You learn it in like 2 weeks or something, ZBrush. Yeah, easy.
Okay, noted. Thomas, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. You heard it here.
I'm going to take off work for 2 weeks and then I'm just going to grind on it. I'm not going to sleep.
Yeah, it's just like World of Warcraft. Gotta grind.
God. Yeah. That's more like 20-year grind. People have sunk serious time and money into that shit. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cool. So there's go ahead.
No, go crack on.
Okay, so there's this one segment that we like to call the Explain the Tweet in the Not Network podcast. So we got your Twitter up, and we have this tweet here. This is something, you might remember it, you might not. You have no likes, no comments, no retweets. This was at 1:06, February 5th, 2021. This tweet was deleted by the author, and then you replied, "Didn't expect that." Laughing, smiley face. No punctuation. You don't remember? Okay. Just as good. That means it was...
Oh, the deleted one. Oh, that was just me saying I was being stupid, right? So I was like fretting because I just put all the eggs up, and the last two were not going up after the first one. And I thought the first one didn't go up because it had sold out. So I was like, where is it?
It's gone.
Where's the egg? And then where's the other two? And then everyone's like, where are the other 2 eggs? And I was like, I'm sorry. It's Rarible's fault. Just chuck all the blame onto them. And then I was like, delete straight afterwards because I realized I didn't actually press fast on the uploading one. So the first one went up straight away, and then the other ones were queued up. And that was why it was being like that. So as soon as I clicked the fast and paid the extra gas fee, they just went straight up. So afterwards, I went back on. I was like, I'll leave that for a bit, so people don't think I'm just like deleting it straight away, and then I'll just delete it, and then that's that.
Great, there was
that was right. Yeah, I think that was right. I'm not entirely sure now.
We are 80% sure.
The other day, actually.
80%. Yeah. I have one more quick question about the Cryptimon. Okay, and yes, as you've been saying, please don't reveal any secrets that you don't want to reveal. But I just want to know, is there another one coming soon?
What have you seen?
Like, is there another egg that will be available?
So there's 97. I thought you meant another IP entirely.
Oh my God, no. I'm sure you've got a while to think about that.
I've got one in the works.
No. Oh my God. Excuse my language, but damn.
Yeah. I wish I would not give anything away on. But,
okay. Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's got a bit more depth. There's a bit more character going on in there, because we're dealing with monsters and one character at the moment.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, that's not going to be for a long time, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's coming. It's got a good story in that. So yeah, we're coming. But with the Cryptimon, there's 97 more eggs to come, and we haven't seen any monsters yet. So we've got there's going to be 100 monsters. 100 monsters, right, for the first series. First series.
Holy crap.
Dude, big aspirations from this guy.
Crap.
I'm really excited for this. Like, seriously, I'm not just pulling your leg right now. Like, I'm really interested in this. So I'm excited to be following that.
This is, it's I've wanted to make monsters my whole life for my living, but now I'll get to do it probably. So we'll see.
I mean, as a kid, you think anything's possible, and then you start to grow up and you're like, maybe that's kind of ridiculous. And now you're actually doing it. And I think that's so inspiring. I think that's really cool. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy for you, man.
Living like a kid again.
Yes.
Love that.
Thanks, guys.
A dream. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a great conversation. Thank you so much for talking with us.
Yeah.
And thanks for meeting with us. We got up early for this, so we're here for you, man.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Stoked to talk with you. And yeah, like Matthew said, I really enjoyed talking with you. It was a great vibe, and I love it that you're making this freaking monster before our eyes.
I haven't even been thinking properly, so I'm sorry that it looks a bit like it
kind of looks like a Sid.
A Sid. It does look like a Sid. Yeah,
Sid.
That, isn't it? That's a good picture.
I like it. I like Sorg. Snorg.
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 Yeah.
It's more of a snorg.
It's Snorg for sure.
Snorg.
Give him some
But,
little eyebrows. There you go.
Oh yeah. Some spiky brows.
Nice. Okay, we're gonna take a little screenshot of that.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, that's just so sick. Anyways, so would you like to plug any of your socials? Cryptomon, you're doing
Yeah,
Cryptomon.
plug the
What
website,
else
everything.
are you doing, up to, thinking about, excited for?
Oh, by the way,
Is-
before we go on, because you just said Cryptomon, so just for everyone that knows, it's Cryptimon. Cryptid Monsters.
Cryptimon.
Yeah, it's not crypto.
Gotcha.
Cryptimon.
My bad. Cryptimon.
No, it's all right. That's everyone's been saying crypto, so at least we know it's in crypto. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
Cryptimon. Okay.
Yeah.
Habits.
See, okay, so that's where the basis is. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's CRYPTIMON
Yeah.
.com.
Cryptimon.
Cryptimon. Yeah.
Yeah.
But everyone go check it out. Like
Okay.
for real, for real.
Yeah, check it out.
For sure. And check out Mr. Okay, so it's Fenton 4? Fenton 14.
Yeah, because I'm born on the 14th
Hey.
Of what?
of May. Yeah.
Hey.
Dude, I'm born on the 12th. What is up?
Dang.
What is up? We were just talking about my birthday before we came on.
It's true. Y'all are like bros.
Dude, that's
Hey,
what's up.
Not long now.
Right.
Sweet. Okay,
Yeah.
so
yeah,
check
so
out
follow Fenton on Instagram,
14.
Fenton.xiv, 14 in Roman numerals, and then Fentonxiv on Twitter.
what does Fenton mean?
Fenton's my second name. So my name's Thomas Fenton, but growing up in England, when you're in school, you always get called by your second name. So it never really.
Nice.
I actually went into Isle of Dust and they just called me Fenton instantly. I didn't even get a chance to say my name was Tom. So half the people there didn't know I was called Tom for 5 years.
Dang, okay. So Fenton you are.
Fenton I am.
Perfect. Great. Well, thank you again, Mr. Fenton
Mr. Fenton.
XIV
14.
Yes.
14. Thank you. Thank you so much for
many
putting up with us.
Deep avenues going on. It's just like,
I know.
yo.
We're going deep in the Not Network
We're going
podcast.
deep. And also, we're not networking.
We're
We're
not
making
making
friends.
friends.
Beautiful.
Love it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That is it.
See you later,
Great.
guys.
Thank you guys for listening. I'm totally stoked to see what Thomas does next. If you missed where to find him, we have everything linked in the show notes. Other than that, hope you have a great day, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye.